My name is David. I'm 79 years old. I'm recording this because there are things you carry your whole life, and at some point you realize you're the only one left who remembers them.
And if you don't say them out loud, they disappear with you. This isn't about advice. I don't have any. This is just something I saw once, and I never told her, and now she's gone. I think about it more now than I did when it happened. Funny how that works. I was married for 41 years. Her name was Ellen. She passed in 2019. Pancreatic cancer. It was quick. Too quick in some ways. Not quick enough in others. We had a good marriage. Not perfect, but good. We raised 2 kids, we had a house, we had routines, we had a life that made sense. But there was something I saw once, years ago, that I never brought up, and I think about it now more than I think about a lot of the good things. It was 1989, maybe early 1990. Winter, I remember that much. Ellen had started going to a pottery class on Thursday nights. She'd always wanted to do something creative, and I encouraged it. I thought it was good for her. She worked full-time as a school secretary, took care of the kids, took care of me. She deserved something that was hers. She'd come home around 9:30, 10 o'clock. She'd be tired, but in a good way. She'd show me what she made, little bowls, mugs, things that didn't quite look right, but that she was proud of. I liked seeing her like that. One Thursday, I left work early. I don't remember why. Maybe I wasn't feeling well. Maybe there was a meeting that got canceled. I stopped at the hardware store on the way home. I needed something, screws maybe. Doesn't matter. And when I came out, I saw her car. It was parked outside a diner, not the community center where the pottery class was. A diner about 10 minutes in the opposite direction. I didn't think much of it at first. Maybe she stopped for coffee. Maybe the class had ended early. But then I saw her through the window. She was sitting in a booth, across from a man. I didn't recognize him. He was younger than me, maybe in his early 40s. He had dark hair. He was wearing a sweater. He was leaning forward, elbows on the table, talking. And Ellen was laughing. Not the polite laugh she used at church or at work functions. A real laugh, the kind I hadn't heard in a long time. I stood there for maybe 30 seconds, maybe a minute. I don't know what I felt. I don't think I felt anything at first. I just stood there, holding a bag from the hardware store, watching my wife laugh with someone I'd never seen before. Then I got in my car and drove home. She came home that night around 10, same as always. She told me about the bowl she was working on, said the rim kept cracking, said the instructor told her she was rushing it. I nodded. I said something like, "You'll get it." She smiled, kissed me on the forehead, went upstairs to shower, and I never said a word.
I didn't ask her about it the next day, or the day after that. I told myself it was nothing. Maybe it was a friend from class. Maybe it was someone's husband. Maybe they'd just run into each other. But I knew it wasn't nothing, because she didn't mention it. And if it had been nothing, she would have. The next Thursday, I paid attention. She left at 7:15, like always. Said she'd be back around 10. I didn't follow her. I'm not that kind of person. But I stayed up. I watched the clock. She came home at 10:05. Same routine, same tired smile, same stories about clay and glaze and the kiln. I asked her, casually, if anyone else from the neighborhood went to the class. She said no, just her and a few older women, one younger guy who mostly kept to himself. She didn't hesitate, didn't look away, and I didn't push. This went on for months. I never saw her with him again. I never went looking. But I thought about it. I thought about it a lot. I started noticing little things. She started wearing a different perfume. Not all the time, just on Thursdays. She started doing her hair differently on those nights. Nothing dramatic, just more effort. She seemed lighter on Thursdays, more herself, and I hated that I noticed. One night, I almost asked. We were sitting in the living room. She was reading, I was watching something on TV, I don't remember what. And I just thought, I could ask right now. I could just say it. Ellen, who were you with that night at the diner? That's all it would have taken. But I didn't, because I was afraid of what she'd say. Or maybe I was more afraid of what I'd have to do if she told me the truth. The pottery class ended in the spring. She stopped going. She never mentioned it again, never talked about picking it back up. I asked her once, a year or so later, if she missed it. She said no, said it had been fun, but it wasn't really her thing. And that was it. There were other moments over the years where I almost brought it up. Anniversaries, birthdays, quiet Sunday mornings, times when we were close and comfortable, and it felt like maybe we could talk about anything. But I never did. I told myself I was protecting the marriage, that some things are better left alone, that if it was over, whatever it was, then why dig it up? But I think the truth is I was protecting myself, because if I asked and she told me, then I'd have to deal with it, and I didn't want to. Life went on. The kids graduated, got jobs, moved out. We became grandparents. We retired. We traveled a little. We settled into a rhythm. Ellen and I were fine. We were good even. But I never forgot what I saw, and I never told her. When she got sick, it happened fast. One day she was fine. The next she was tired all the time. Then the diagnosis. Then 6 months. We spent a lot of time talking in those last weeks. About the kids, about the grandkids, about the house and what I'd do with it, about her parents and whether she'd see them again. She told me she loved me. She told me I'd been a good husband. She told me not to be alone forever. And I told her I loved her too. But I didn't ask her about the diner. I thought about it every time we sat together in the quiet. Every time she drifted off and I was left with my own thoughts, I thought, maybe now, maybe this is the time. But I didn't. Because what if she said yes? What if there had been something? What would that change at the end? And what if she said no? What if it had been nothing and I'd carried it all these years for no reason? I don't know which answer I was more afraid of.
She died on a Tuesday morning, at home. I was holding her hand. The last thing she said to me was, "You were always enough." I don't know if she meant it the way I heard it, but I've thought about it every day since. After she was gone, I went through her things, not right away, but eventually. I found journals, letters from the kids, photos I'd never seen, recipes she'd clipped and never made. I didn't find anything about him, no name, no number, no letters. I don't know if that made me feel better or worse. I found one journal entry from 1990. It was short. Just a few lines. It said, "I don't know who I am anymore. I'm someone's wife, someone's mother, someone's employee. But I don't know who I am." That was it. Nothing about the diner. Nothing about the man. Just that. I sat with that for a long time. I thought about the Ellen I knew. The one who made breakfast every morning, the one who helped with homework, the one who kept the house running. And I thought about the Ellen who wrote that line, the one who didn't know who she was. I never saw that person, or maybe I did, and I didn't want to. I'm 79 now. It's been 5 years. And I still think about that night, the diner, the man, the way she laughed. I don't think she had an affair. I really don't. But I think maybe, for a few months, She had something that made her feel like herself again. Something outside of being a mother, a wife, a secretary. And I think I took that from her by never asking. Because if I'd asked, maybe she would have told me. Maybe we would have talked about it. Maybe I would have understood, or maybe she would have stopped going. Maybe she would have chosen me and given up whatever that was. I don't know which one would have been worse. I think about the version of Ellen I didn't know, the one who laughed like that, the one who wore perfume on Thursday nights, the one who looked forward to something I wasn't part of. I wish I'd met her. I wish I'd asked her who she was when I wasn't around. Not because I think she was hiding something, but because I think maybe I never gave her space to be more than what I needed her to be. I loved her, I really did, but I don't know if I ever asked her what she needed. I assumed that what we had was enough, that the life we built was enough. And maybe it was, but maybe it wasn't. There's no lesson here. I don't know what I should have done differently. All I know is that I saw something once, and I never said anything, and now I'll never know. And that's the part that stays, not the good years, not the trips we took, or the grandkids, or the quiet mornings. The part that stays is the question I didn't ask. I think about time a lot now, how fast it went, how much of it I wasted being afraid to ask, afraid to know, afraid to risk what we had for the chance at something deeper. I think about the moments I missed, the conversations we didn't have, the truths we didn't share. I think about how much closer we could have been if I'd just been brave enough to ask. But I wasn't. And now she's gone. And I'm here, 79 years old, sitting in a house that's too quiet, thinking about a night in 1989 when I saw my wife laugh with someone I didn't know. I don't know why I'm telling you this. Maybe because I need to say it out loud. Maybe because I hope someone else hears it and asks the question I didn't. I don't know. I just know that silence has a weight. And I've been carrying it for 30 years. And it's heavier now than it's ever been. If you've stayed with me this long, thank you. I don't know why I needed to say this out loud. Maybe just to hear it said. Maybe just so someone else knows. If there's someone in your life you've been meaning to ask something, anything, maybe don't wait as long as I did. Or maybe you will. Maybe that's just how it goes. I don't know, but I'm telling you what I saw. And I'm telling you I never told her. And I'm telling you that's what I think about now, at the end. Not the love, not the life, the silence.